name is Ata Sofara. I'm 33 years old. I'll be 34 in November this year. I've been playing rugby since I was 8 years old. I still want to fulfill that dream, to play a test for the Manu Samoans. And I know it's going to be a lot of pain, and I have faced it before, and for sure I can do it again. It's a matter of, just go and do it. I'm overweight. I'm still smoking, heavy smoker. I'm still drinking. And I'm still taking in coffee regularly. Like drinking beverages and all that. I like eating fried food, fat. And I have my hopes up that I will strive for the best. And I want to be in France 2007 in Paris to represent my country.
Ata lives in Samoa, a South Pacific island north of New Zealand, the ex-colonial power. Samoa is a strong rugby nation. Many Samoans have immigrated, and numerous players in the national rugby team, the Manu Samoa, play in clubs around the Pacific and in Europe. Ata played in a club in New Zealand for 4 years. Then he went back to Samoa, where he lives near the capital, Apia. He teaches history and English, the country's second official language.
Say those 2 words.
Manu Samoa.
Say it again.
Manu Samoa.
So what do you think about our old Manu Samoa and the new Manu Samoa? Most of the team in the past were selected in local boys. Everyone knows everyone, combinations. Why is the local boy better than the boy from overseas? Who are eating what? They're eating potatoes, They're eating potatoes over there, and we are eating our what? Taro. Taro is a starch. It helps us very strong. Imagine if you are a boy. Palepa, imagine that you are a man, and you're going to get selected from Manu Samoa. What will be the first thing in your mind, Palepa? Win. You have to win. Okay, anyone else? And you're going to be famous as well. You want to be famous? Okay. Anyone else? Money. You want money?
Yes.
So when you want to get into the Manu Samoa, you always think about money.
No.
And why are you saying you want money? Nearly? Money?
Yes, money.
Money? Sona? Money. Okay. Now I understand that you people want to become Manu Samoa players because of money. But the sad thing, you don't understand the history of our country and the Manu Samoa. Sa ele tama sa ano foi fala dili asoyo. O tama Manu Samoa. O toa, he was a warrior. O fa pema tama le o Manu Samoa. O le manu o tua sivi le watu ai lalo I papauta. Watu atau o sumu. Le a e lungan bongam to ya bila. O le manu o tua sivi e fa ngota tai e lua. Okay? It can be a symbolism of a warrior that can win any day. Rainy day, wet day, sunny day, windy day, they can win.
Hands up, under 19, PRC, PI6 World Cup. A long way away. You've got a lot of hard work to do here. We've got 9 weeks of pain here.
The passage from amateur to professional rugby in 1995 created great financial gaps between nations. Expatriate players took advantage of the country's professional structures. Samoa lacked a training center for its best local players. The Samoan leaders and the IRB, the institution governing rugby worldwide, took initiative, and the High Performance Unit opened its doors. Michael Jones, of Samoan descent, is the Samoa's coach. He was world champion at 22 with the All Blacks, New Zealand's national rugby team, and has remained a legend there.
When I see these boys doing these hard yards, this hard work, nothing's changed in that regard. We used to do the same hard work in the down and ups and the 150s and this kind of environment. So it's again, it's really, you know, it brings back a lot of good memories, fond memories, because it's this kind of environment where we all start our rugby careers and we all start our dreams. Scary memories too, because you know, we used to end up like these guys, nearly gonna faint or throw up or felt like we were gonna die. But, it's good for them, just as it was good for us when we were growing as young men and our rugby and our aspirations and our dreams. We don't have an army. Samoa has no army. We are the army. This is the army. So, you know, they have to fight for the honour, for the good name of Samoa and their families, their parents. We love our families. We love our parents. We love our extended ainga. We call it the extended family. So, you know, that is the essence of who we are.
I think when the mainline churches arrived and started to change the social behavior of our people, Samoa was under a great influence of various gods, different beliefs, and also the idea of warriorism was practiced in Samoa. This person, where we name our rugby team Manu Samoa, was a warrior back in the ancient times. So he was more or less the warrior that anyone who wants to wage war on another will go and give him gifts, and even if you are related, he will come and be on your side. So he's a sort of guy that never loses a war. He was a strong man, no fear, and he was, you know, a warrior, what do you ever call, like a knight in Europe. So this game, rugby, I think that when the Christians arrived and started to change the lives of the people and start to Christianize and civilize the people of Samoa, I think that the Samoans see this game as part of, to show their ability to become warriorism. You know, they are warriors. As you see in how our style of game when we first came in 1991, you know, the world was so surprised to see such a style of rugby, you know, no fear, they look into your eyes and, you know, they're like coming and, you know, they're gonna come and kill you. Wartime is gone. So let's use this game as war, you know, it's battle on the field.
Scotland facing up to that challenge from the Western Samoan side. They've been forced to make one change from the last match.
From 1994 to 1997, Ata participated in the Auckland Championships, where he met New Zealand's best players. Upon his return to Samoa, he was on the Manu Samoa road to the 1999 World Cup. But this was a failure, as a series of injuries made him miss the World Cup selection matches. Today, his ambition is intact, but his body has changed. The challenge is measuring up to the 10 years that have passed since then. Today, Michael Jones welcomes HPU's first graduating class.
The heart, yes. Yoi, ole look, the fatu is here, but it's also in here, ole nganga, the spirit, it's the 3-in-1. The fatu is the 3-in-1. The greatest honor for any rugby player is to play for your country.
The reason you're in this room is because we all believe in you. Ma kau ke kalikong ya te oto umalava. We believe in each and every one of you, that you have the potential. You have the potential, you have the dream. Potential and the dream. Make sure you have a dream, make it a big dream. Make it the Manu Samoa, the highest honor, but you got to be prepared to pay the price. If your habit is to eat lots, leanga low nutrition, leanga low eating habits, me whapenga, leanga if you think you're drinking too much, if there's other habits in your life that are going to take you away from reaching the moon, you're going to have to make a decision to stop the things that are going to take you to land on the moon. And I know that when I'm looking in this room, well, these are some of the proudest Samoan men in the world, right here in this room.
To help him in his mission, Michael Jones is surrounded with prestigious Manu Samoa players, those responsible for the first World Cup exploit in 1991 against Wales. Andy Iolupo is the technical advisor. Matthew Vaea is in charge of training at the HPU. Stan To'omalatai is the coach and works for the Samoan Rugby Union. And Fats, the prop and captain of the 1991 team, is Michael Jones' assistant for the forwards.
Mistakes created by the Welsh team. Good control this time then by Phil Davis. Almost catching via the scrum half offside as Robert Jones puts up the testing kick there for Iolupo.
Samoa does not have the same means as some of the richer countries, but at every World Cup, the Samoans' performance has been noticed. The first time they participated, in 1991, they eliminated the Welsh in Cardiff by imposing physical play. On the islands, they remember the players who were knocked out as well as they remember the final score. Ball in hand, passes, kicks, and great races come one after the other, like on Samoa's beaches and fields. During the 2003 World Cup, they almost beat the English, the future champions.
The chance from number 8 gets out the pass beautifully to Bayanga. Martin Morris almost tackling him, but Bayanga going through. Jones and Lewis going back. Who gets the touch? The try is awarded. The first try of the game, and dramatically in the opening seconds of the second half. The scorer...
Monsieur Jones, I'm sorry to approach you this way, but my instincts indicate that you are the person I can trust. I have a dream that has been there for more than 20 years. I hope you could spare some of your diligent, precious time for me privately. Yours sincerely, Ata Sofara. What I'm expecting is communication between me and head coach. And he has a job to do, taking Samoa next year to the World Cup 2007 in Paris. And myself, I have a job to do as a player and someone who wants to get into that side and get into the next World Cup. So we both have roles and responsibilities.
Ata's house contains many generations and many branches of the family, but it is Ata's father who is at its vital center. He is a matai, a chief. The matai, who is called by his chiefly title, represents the extended family, called aiga, within the village. He also takes care of internal affairs. In return, the members of the aiga must serve him. But if the matai behaves badly, he can be deposed. Otherwise, he keeps the title until death, and that is when his successor is chosen. It is through devotion, wisdom, and knowledge of their culture that other men or women will become matai in turn.
I'm the driver. I'm the old man's driver, you know, I drive him around. Yeah, I'm the chauffeur. Wherever he goes, I go. If you see me, you see my grandfather. If you see my grandfather, you see me. Well, only at the clubs, you know, you see just me. He's stuck with me and I'm stuck with him, so I have no choice. For example, our family, we're a traditional family. But I guess the only reason why we've survived this long is because of our grandfather. You know, he holds 3 titles, very prominent titles. But to me, personally, when he's gone, yeah, everything's gonna change, you know. Because, you know, the changes are still coming in strongly. The old man, you know, he's very, you know, he's very firm and he's very stable with his passion for our culture. And that's the reason why we survived this long. But for some other families, you know, if they don't have, you know, this kind of anchor, like my grandfather, I don't think they will be able to survive.
Fats knows Ata well. They met during the Auckland Championships in New Zealand. He knows nothing about Ata's intentions. Ata, however, knows that his being selected for the World Cup will be Fats' decision.
This guy here is, we used to play against each other 10, 15 years ago. But now he's obviously taking the easier sport, he's gone to powerlifting. He's got the right attitude. Some guys who play rugby just had some family problem, not family problem, just family commitments, and put family before rugby, so obviously now he's got plenty more time to want to enjoy his pump those weights, mate. Good prop and hooker, on and off the field, just quite. Anyway, I need to get back to work, mate. Okay. Get up. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we'll meet up tomorrow.
Meeting the big boys again, like today, it's very encouraging for me that there are witnesses that some of us are not in the HPU, but we're doing our own silent comebacks. And there will be the time that will come that the backbenchers like us, you know, a couple of old heads will get the call to come in, and if you're up to the task, you're in. HPU and most of us, we need games. You know, we need match fitness. You know, we need to put this fitness and this strength work and these combinations into 80 minutes on the field, and from there we'll take it. The body has been knocking for more than 3 years now. When I was 30 years old, I could feel that the injuries I've carried through the whole decade of playing rugby in my 20s, have caught up with me and feeling very painful in the morning. But being a hard yaka, like you said, in rugby, just forget about the pain and continue this enjoyment of playing this game that I really love, and be a man to get up and play this game. Time for giving up, it's not near. It's quite far away.
This is part of our Samoan culture and team spirit. Where you live, you have to tidy up where you live, and we're setting the example. This is where we're going to live for 18 months, and there's some rocks underneath the grass, so it's a health risk for when we train here, for people falling on the ground. So we've identified as a team that we need to take care of our rugby field. So we're having a team building exercise, see who can clean the best, who can work together as a team, as new players. Yeah, and then they come back and tell us about how good they've done in their job. Yeah. This is a normal Samoan boy's life. You have to do your duties in the house, tidy up and prepare before you can go to rugby. So this is exactly the part of what we're doing.
Michael Jones received Ata's letter.
Well, it's like I told these guys yesterday, if you aim for the moon, you'll if you're prepared to aim for the moon, and if you're prepared to pay the price, even if you don't ever land on the moon, you'll still be in a much better place. So, that's always been my encouragement for a lot of these boys, that you've got to set your aspirations up there. And even if it's a 33-year-old trying to make the World Cup or make the Manu, that's great if they set it up there. Obviously, there's probably a huge price to pay for someone, at that stage of his career. But if he's prepared to do it, then even if he, after all that, whatever it takes to be there, and if he's prepared to do whatever it takes, even if he doesn't get back into the Manu or get to the Manu, he's going to be in a much better place in life and in terms of being a rugby player too, than if he just didn't have that dream and he just went through life setting for second best and being average and being mediocre. So that's awesome. I think it's wonderful. It's that's inspirational even for some of these young guys to have that story and have that type of attitude.
That's the man for the post. Yeah.
Our motto of Samoa is Samoa is built on God, and that's very much our motto. When you see the Samoan emblem, it's got the cross at the top. So that's who we are. That's the importance of Christianity in our lives. For me, it's a personal thing. I was brought up in a Christian home. We always went to church on Sunday. I was never allowed to play organised sport on Saturday. When I was getting good at rugby, 13, 14, 15 years old, when the coaches used to come and knock on our door and ask my mother, "Oh, Mrs. Jones, we need to take Michael for a trial or a game on Sunday," she'll say, "Sorry." My boys, we're going to church, and also, we're going to just stay. This is our family day, and I was just brought up like that. That was all I knew, and I'm very thankful because I was still able to get back in the All Blacks, even though I might miss a lot of games and even a semi-final in the World Cup. Those kind of games, but thankfully I always got back in, and I'm very thankful for that.
We don't have rabbit's foot, like that kind of thing. You know, we don't have special things we carry with us. That's our gods. It's really here. It's in here. You're born with it, and if you believe in that, that's what you carry with you. Today, it's very hard for Samoans to say that I still believe in the old gods, because Christianity, it's there. But you don't have to go far to know that despite the fact that a lot of Samoans believe in Christianity, the old Aitu idea is still in existence. Because there's a lot of Aitu sickness going on in Samoa. Because Aitu now is very much spiritual, a spiritual thing.
I think that the new breed and the new generation of rugby players of today are mainly from the urban area, who are making our representative teams and our Manu Samoa today. Our local boys who are making the Manu Samoa today are people from the urban, and those people are losing that spirit of warriorism. They are very lonely people living in their houses, just watching TV and walking to the rugby field, but they don't have that competitiveness between and amongst untitled men in the village, where they are given a role. You go and plant 10,000 taros. The boys rugby over here, they never plant a taro. Even me, I don't plant a taro, but I'm telling you that, you know, my father has been challenging my mind. You know, you got to have that competitiveness. You have to serve me. You have to serve the culture. You have to serve the village. You have to serve the church. So I serve them through finance, through money.
The young men gather in the Malagi, the village square, to play before nightfall. Tackling is not allowed. This is touch rugby, because this is not supposed to be a confrontation, it's supposed to be fun. Feints, acrobatic passes, and other feats trigger laughter every night. When the village teams participate in local competitions, they're supervised by village leaders and pastors. Their goals are to educate the kids and ensure the glory of their villages. So if the players behave badly, the sanctions are immediate. They're punished by the council of chiefs or by the pastor. Violence must be channeled. But it is the tackles that ignite the public's acclaim and also win the ladies' hearts.
Rabbits, rats. If you hear rats, you go run that way, okay? You just sprint. Sefulu mita, paunga, lavanga. Yeah. Rats! Malo. Dog bite. Rastas! Yeah, koi kasi.
The HPU Training Center must train around 50 local players. For these young people, the future elite of the Manu Samoa, it is the door to international rugby. It is no longer simply a game played in local society. It is the promise of a future in professional rugby.
I can say that if I imagine my life without rugby, it means that I'm not participating with the everyday life of the Samoan boys on the islands, like my friends, the people I used to play with. But I think there will come the time that I have to hang up the boots. You know, we understand that we are human beings. There will be the time that we have to stop because we can't do it anymore. But at this time and age, as us rugby players, you know, rugby and this addiction is like a medicine to us, you know. It shows our warriorism that we have to go and play the game. If you don't play the game in Samoa and you're sitting around, you know, you're like a sissy, you know. You'll be a girl if you don't play rugby.
"6 months of races, effort, diet, and recuperation. 6 months watching what they drink, what they eat, what they smoke. 6 months spent counting the hours and the seconds in order to have time for training in an already full day. 6 months of uncertainty, 6 months waiting for it to start at last. Here is the beginning of the local championships. Ata is ready. He wants to measure himself up to the others and to be noticed by the selectors.
Rugby started from here, in ARTE area. Just 4 or 5 teams, 4 or 6 teams. The sports grows, and then they spread to the rural areas. As coaches, we discuss and look at a lot of players because there's not enough numbers in the HPU to cater for a lot of teams. So we need to broaden our vision and look at other like schools and other competitions to select or identify boys that can be in our HPU. And a lot of very good players, they gone overseas.
At the end of the day, picking our national team for the World Cup won't depend if you're a local player or as long as you have Samoan blood in you and you're willing to play 100% for the country, then that's all that matters to us.
After his performance in the local championships, Ata is allowed to integrate the HPU in preparation for the Pacific Rugby Cup. This new competition gathers the best local players from Samoa, Tonga, and Fiji. For Ata, the schedule is tight. He only has a few matches under his belt, and the first selection match is in 1 week.
Second row. Scrum boys. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Nice.
Stand.
After he came to me, he said he wants to play. I said, well, I never deny any person that wants to be in the team. I said, if you train, if you can make the training, then it's okay. But if you can't handle the training and the test, then you'll pick your own self to be in the team. We just make the numbers. But if they can push out the other guys, the young guys, then they'll be in the selection. They're still in the picture. We need them to bring the guys together and share the experience with the boys. It's like playing and also off the field.
Well, it's difficult. You have to go back to this level of rugby. You have to memorize everything, the calls, line-up calls, the backs calls, the pick and goes. You have to be good up there. And plus, the training has been, bloody hard. I think we're taking up to the level that international rugby should be won and played. Yeah. It's good to be here. No. But I think my bones are old enough to handle the pressure of the young guys and the pressure of this level of rugby.
Ata's first big test, the selection match, is held in Marist Stadium. After the British colonists, it was here that the Catholic missionaries introduced rugby into their high schools and participated in implementing the local championships at the end of the 20s.
It's quite difficult right now with the selectors around, and they're peeking their eyes in, and for sure they're going to point me out as one of the old guys still playing at this level. So the challenge for me is to get up there and play a good game, so there will be no doubts with the selectors of myself making the Upolu side. Then will be really surprised to see me again playing at this level. I still have the respect of some of my colleagues around me. Guys a couple of years younger than me are still around, and they have that respect. It's just the new guys that they're still in the forecasting, seeing if I can still handle the pressure of this level. And it's a matter of enjoying the game and do my job.
Ai loa, makuai pia le upufoli ne. Fide mo pele lupe. Ta mai pelngat. Pa penga na ka ko pelngat. Ia maku ai fi ai liat. Le tai ka mal liong. Ia ele kai ko inalo limang le ali fai ka ko kos. Okay? Mangi ko kalu. Mai ka lu. O pale le aver ka kalu ngai kong. Ia ka kengi ya. Ya musi lumun fos. Ya pale le aver ka ko. Okay?
La ya. Ai me kong wa dia pero ka ko upo. Alu fale si alis. Na kongwanga amoga kule alufa iba ya kule na oki mi halu ye ka fa malu si ku me ko kasi ka ko loko kasi ka ko fa ku e fa ko o le son malu si
Boki ngo sa ila la test mai ka ko sa ila makanga aver polo te kona come up hitting off that rock onga luanga ka ko fa ka pa inga le break me lenga le ngo inga lu so swer ka ko luanga tackle tight 5 makuai fa ala vari kai vai awale loya moya ka ko fini games but it's a win-win situation ka ko final awale loya lele yo marka ko backs ka ko final paka
Malos ya mai no malos so pa malos paso bailong alvenga de ito ko al pali awo kita mo ngaro malos awo kan estimating ngalo pa malos yung suka enjoy ka kaslo ko lupot kaslo ko paano
Paano fit no ref right on Line speed. Move up.
That should have been a penalty, I saw 40 minutes. The test for Ata today was his aerobic ability to get around the field and also deliver in the scrums and the lineouts. He did okay.
I left experienced players to come later on. I want to use the older players and the new players, so that because I already know the guys in Manu Samoa and the guys last year, and the new guys they went like Ata and Fileti, the older guys. I want to put them first so that they meet the pressure rather than come later on to be impact players, and then they show, and I don't know where they stand. So I need to put them in the first team so that I know where they stand.
I think I have achieved the first phase of this challenge. I think I've done my job, trimming myself, my body, doing weights, getting fit again, losing a lot of weight, and myself as a rugby player and one of the old heads and still playing the game. Making this level is phase one. So the next phase will be playing this PRC and making the Pacific Rim side and making sure that selectors will be looking towards my side of making a test throughout June and preparation for the World Cup. So time is running out. It's March gonna be out really soon, and it's. I think this time is all about running for your money. Meaning that you have to play and train really hard to make the team.
So it's improving. Are you sure?
History is repeating itself. Ata is once again injured. He will not be able to play in the Pacific Rugby Cup. He will not be tested for the Manu Samoa. His dream of being part of the national selection has evaporated. Today's match against the Junior All Blacks in Apia Park will be held without him.
Come on, there'll always be eyes on the field.
He will be in the grandstand. It is, however, a historic match. It's the first time that a New Zealand national team has come to play in Samoa.
And the hooker, Darren Whitcomb. Number 3, tight head prop, Jonah 4. Left lock at number 4 is Moani McDonald. Number 5, right lock, Greg Rawlinson. Number 6, left flanker, Kieran Reid. Number 7, right flanker, Marty Holland, who's also the captain. Number 8, Mose Tui Ali. And number 9, scrum half, Jimmy Cowan. Number 10, first 5, Stephen Donald.
New Zealand occupied Samoa under the British government from 1918, perhaps 1914. And there is a lot of good relationship between New Zealand and Samoa in the past, up to the time of independence in 1962. And we still have that Treaty of Friendship from 1962 where New Zealand will be more or less the cousin or the relative to the Samoans, that they will help out, and if anything happens to Samoa from other foreign countries, New Zealand will be here as helpers. And still they are working together with the Samoans to develop Samoa to become a better nation of the modern era. But deep inside the hearts of the Samoans, we have to beat the All Blacks.
Rugby and time helped to heal the colonial wounds. Samoa versus New Zealand. Maori Haka versus Samoan Sivatau. The Polynesian world and the British Empire are mixed in rugby, to such an extent that we ask ourselves, what are we looking at? A lucrative activity with folkloric dances? A British pastime whose virtues are honor and education? Or is it a fierce combat animated by war divinities?
I think I've been through the same situation before. I had my ups and downs with my rugby career. And the support from my wife and my children are up there. I think they believe in me, and they have seen what I've done before, and even this time around. I also have negative feedbacks from my mates and some of my colleagues that they think I'm crazy, I'm too old, that I couldn't make it up to this level again. My time has passed. But when things don't really work for me, I'll go back to the drawing boards and do it again. I still have time. You know, it's not the end of the world. I think there's still a place for me there. If I don't make it as a player, probably I'll make it as a spectator, cheering for my side, and probably a coach in the future.